You're watching Story Scroll. Real stories, raw emotions, and endings you'll never forget. Let's scroll into today's tale.
My girlfriend cheated on me with my brother, and my family supported it. I cut contact and don't know how to move on. I never thought betrayal would come from every direction at once. Not from the person you love, not from the person you grew up idolizing, and certainly not from the family that raised you to believe they had your back. Yet here I am, trying to make sense of a life that feels like it's been ripped apart. I was with Emily for 4 years. We met in college, clicked instantly, and it felt like we were building something real. We had plans, moving in together, maybe marriage someday, even talks about kids. I trusted her completely. She was funny, attentive, and for the longest time, I thought we were untouchable. My brother, Ryan, was my older brother, always the golden child in my parents' eyes. He could do no wrong in their minds. I, on the other hand, had always been the responsible one, the quiet one, the one expected to follow the rules and keep the peace. Our family dynamic has always been complicated. My parents practically worshipped Ryan. Any mistake he made would be excused, while any misstep on my part was magnified. I ignored it for years, telling myself that family would always have your back when it mattered, but I guess I was wrong. I wish I could say I saw this coming, but I didn't. I found out a few weeks ago. I don't even remember how it started. I just noticed Emily's phone kept lighting up, her messages sudden and secretive. At first, I brushed it off, thinking maybe she had some work drama. But one night, I walked into our apartment earlier than expected, and there they were, Ryan and Emily, in the living room. At first, I thought I was seeing things. My stomach dropped, my hands started shaking, and I felt like I might pass out. The sounds, the way they froze and looked at me, it's burned into my memory. I confronted Emily immediately. She didn't cry, didn't beg, didn't even seem ashamed. She tried to minimize it. "It just happened," she said. "We didn't mean to hurt you." She blamed stress, blamed me for being busy, blamed anything but herself. There was no real apology, only excuses. Then I confronted Ryan. I hoped, foolishly, that he would show some remorse, some shred of guilt for betraying his own brother. But no, he was cruel, dismissive, and even smug. "You should have seen it coming," he said. "I didn't steal her. She chose me." That last part hit me like a punch. He didn't deny it was ongoing. This wasn't a mistake or a one-time lapse. It had been happening behind my back for months. The final blow came when I told my parents. I thought they'd be shocked, angry, or at least supportive. But no, my mother's first words were, "He's always been lonely. Don't ruin the family over a girl." My father, equally calm, told me I needed to be the bigger man. They weren't asking. They were expecting me to apologize, to swallow my pain, and let them preserve their precious family image. I spent nights awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of my relationship, every interaction with my brother, every family dinner where I felt invisible. Sleepless nights became weeks. I questioned everything about myself. Was I not good enough? Was my love somehow insufficient? Was I imagining this all along? Eventually, I realized I couldn't stay. I couldn't be around them, not like this. I packed my things, changed my phone number, blocked Emily, Ryan, and even my parents on social media. I sent a final message to no one, just left everything behind. Now, here I am, trying to figure out what comes next. I don't know if I want revenge. Sometimes the thought of them failing or facing consequences makes me feel better, but most of the time, I'm just empty. I don't think I can forgive this. Not Emily, not Ryan, not even my parents. The people who should have loved me unconditionally didn't. Reddit, was I wrong to cut everyone off? How do you even begin to heal when the people you trusted the most betray you in such a fundamental way? Update. My family is furious I cut contact. They still don't think they did anything wrong. It's been a little over 2 months since I cut contact with my girlfriend, my brother, and my parents. I wish I could say time healed everything, but the truth is it didn't heal, it clarified. The shock faded, the constant nausea stopped, and the nights got quieter. What replaced the pain wasn't forgiveness or peace. It was distance, and distance changes how you see things. I started therapy about 3 weeks after everything happened. At first, I just sat there, talking in circles, trying to explain how betrayal from one person hurts, but betrayal from everyone at once breaks something deeper. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You're not grieving just a relationship. You're grieving the family you thought you had. That hit harder than I expected. I wasn't angry yet. I was cold. Despite blocking them, my family found ways to reach me. Emails started showing up from unfamiliar addresses. The subject lines were dramatic. Emergency. Please respond. This is tearing the family apart. None of the emails contain apologies, just accusations. According to them, I was being petty, immature, dramatic. My mother wrote that I was overreacting to a mistake and that adults should know how to forgive. My father said my silence was punishing everyone unfairly. Extended family members began calling on their behalf. A cousin told me I was being selfish for making things uncomfortable. An aunt said I should think about my parents' health. Not one of them asked how I was doing. Not one acknowledged what was actually done to me. Then the truth slipped out. It happened during a call with my aunt, someone I thought was neutral. She was frustrated, ranting about how this whole thing had gone on too long. She said, "You know they didn't plan for you to find out so soon." I froze and asked her what she meant. There was silence on the line before she quickly tried to backtrack. But it was too late. With a little pressure, it came out. The affair hadn't just been going on for months. It had started nearly a year before I found out. Worse than that, my parents knew. They didn't know every detail, but they knew something was happening. They suspected. They chose not to tell me because, according to my aunt, they didn't want family drama and thought it would work itself out. That realization hurt more than catching them together. My parents didn't just pick my brother after the fact. They picked him before I ever had a chance to protect myself. Around the same time, I found out my ex and my brother were now officially together. Not just quietly dating, openly. She was attending family dinners, holidays, birthdays, smiling in photos where I used to stand. Someone sent me a picture by accident. She was wearing one of my old hoodies, the one she used to steal when she stayed over. My mother was standing next to her, arm around her shoulder, beaming. I won't lie, that picture broke something inside me, but also did something else. It ended the sadness. That was the turning point. I realized I wasn't mourning a loss anymore. I was mourning an illusion. They didn't betray me suddenly. They revealed who they'd always been. My brother had always been protected. My parents had always excused him. I had just been convenient to ignore because I didn't cause problems. That's when anger replaced grief, but not the explosive kind. It was quiet, focused. I didn't want revenge in the movie plot sense. I didn't want to scream, expose them online, or blow up family gatherings. I wanted consequences, real ones, the kind that happen when you stop shielding people from the results of their own behavior. So I made changes. First, I cut off financial ties. I had been helping my parents with bills here and there, nothing massive, but consistent. That stopped. I also quietly withdrew support from my brother's side business that I had helped set up months ago. No announcement, no confrontation, just silence. Second, I stopped correcting narratives. When extended family asked why I wasn't coming around, I simply said, I found out some things and I needed distance. I didn't defend myself. I didn't lie. I let people fill in the gaps on their own. Funny how quickly stories change when you stop managing them. Meanwhile, my own life started improving in ways I didn't expect. I threw myself into work and ended up getting offered a better position, more responsibility, better pay. I started going to the gym regularly, partly to burn off frustration, partly because I wanted to feel strong again. I reconnected with old friends I neglected during my relationship. I laughed again. Real laughter. The kind that doesn't feel forced. Confidence came back slowly, but when it did, it felt solid. That's when the cracks started showing on their side. My brother began struggling. Responsibility didn't sit well with him the way it had with me. Bills piled up. Work stress increased. And my ex, well, she wasn't the supportive partner she pretended to be. According to someone who shouldn't have told me, she constantly compared him to me. How I handled things better. How I was more stable. How life had been easier with me. They started fighting. Loudly. Publicly. And suddenly my parents started reaching out again. Not with guilt, but with panic. They needed help. advice, money, connections, things I used to provide quietly without being asked. This time, when my father finally got through to me through a new number, I listened. I let him talk. Then I said calmly, I can't help you. No anger, no insults, just a boundary. He didn't know how to respond to that. So here I am now. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not crying. I'm just done protecting people who never protected me. For the first time, I feel like I'm standing on my own side. And something tells me this isn't the end of the fallout. Final update. I walked away, and everything they built without me collapsed. It's been almost a year since I cut ties with my family, my brother, and my ex. I can honestly say that I've never felt more at peace. Not because everything went perfectly, but because I stopped fighting for people who never fought for me. I don't need validation from them anymore. I don't need apologies or recognition. I don't need to explain myself. I just exist on my own terms. The fallout started quietly, but quickly escalated. My brother and my ex didn't last. Their fights, fueled by jealousy, insecurity, and the constant comparison she made between him and me, became unbearable. She left him eventually, moving away from the city entirely. The perfect match my family had celebrated for months turned out to be a disaster. Rumors spread fast through extended family of lies, infidelity, and manipulation. Those who had once gossiped about me now had new stories to whisper about, and the whispers weren't flattering. My parents, who had insisted I stay quiet, faced their own reckoning. The extended family began to notice cracks in their carefully curated image. Invitations to parties went unanswered. Favors I used to quietly handle were refused, and their golden child was suddenly incapable of maintaining the image they had built for him. Embarrassment isn't pleasant when it's public. My parents had to answer questions they had ignored for years, and there was no one left to protect them. Eventually, the apologies trickled in, but too late. My mother called me one evening, her voice trembling, finally admitting, we made mistakes. We shouldn't have sided with him. She cried, the kind of desperate tears that come from knowing you've lost control of a situation you thought you could manage. My father, always composed, sounded humbled as he said, we thought we were doing the right thing. We weren't. And then, of course, Ryan reached out. He had hit rock bottom. Job instability, the end of his relationship, and the realization that the people he thought would always be there for him weren't. It finally caught up with him. His voice was hesitant, filled with shame. I was wrong. He said, simple and almost childlike. I didn't respond for a while, just listened. When I did speak, I didn't yell. I didn't call him names. I didn't try to make him feel small. I simply stated my boundaries. I don't trust you. I don't want you in my life right now. I may never want you in it. That silence, that calm firmness was enough. I didn't need to punish them. I just stopped saving them. Life since then has been surprisingly light. I started a new chapter with people who actually respect and value me. I built a life independent of the people who had treated me as disposable. Friends became my chosen family, and I even met someone new, a partner who doesn't compare, manipulate, or betray. It's not perfect, it's honest. That honesty feels more like home than my childhood ever did. The final closure came quietly, without spectacle. I realized that revenge wasn't about watching them fail. It wasn't about exposing them online, humiliating them, or making them pay in dramatic ways. The real revenge was refusing to save them from themselves, refusing to prop up the illusions they depended on, and stepping away for the chaos they created. Watching them stumble through the consequences of their choices, while I thrived in my own life, was enough. Sometimes I think back to the person I was before all of this, the one who would have tried to mend fences, beg for family approval, or cling to love that was never reciprocated. I can't recognize him anymore. I've learned that strength isn't about fighting everyone else. Strength is knowing when to walk away, even when it hurts, and trusting that life will take care of you.
Thanks for watching Story Scroll. Hit that bell and stay tuned for the next story that will move your heart.